I don't know. I keep just wanting to fucking rant about the same topic, you know? And it's something that affects us all. Even if I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't hardly affected by what's going on right now. People that, they got their shit together when they were younger, and it was a better time in the past. Everything was more affordable. Jobs were more plentiful. The cost of living was much lower. And not only that, but people worked together. People had large families that worked together, helped each other out. It's not like that for us now, man. The idea of just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, the whole fucking concept, that saying, it's literally impossible to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, The pay is too low. The cost of living is just too fucking high. You need help to be able to get ahead in this world in the modern day, man. And people got real fucking tough just dealing with this bullshit, but it's not right, man. We deserve a better standard of living. Everyone deserves a better standard of living, man. Especially ones whose standard of living has been laid waste to, been brought so low. A lot of the problem in this country and all across the Western world is honestly a lack of freedom and this whole fucking work ethic that has been ingrained into people's fucking mind for generations. The idea of that's just how it works, Oh, you just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Just go get another job. Just go work 10 jobs. You just gotta do it. This sort of advice is coming from people who lived in a completely different fucking world, man. They lived, the boomer generation and shit lived in a fucking world where, they could get a job at the gas station or working at fucking Burger King or McDonald's or something and buy a house and a couple acres of land and, cover the bills for the whole family and stuff, They could go buy a house for $10,000, $20,000, Or if they rented a place, they could be putting away hundreds of dollars, if not more, every single month, stacking money until they're able to afford a down payment on a house or something, It's not like that for those of us trying to do this shit now, man. So many people just basically running on a hamster wheel, getting nowhere, And I mean the failed relationship shit is a big aspect of why things are so fucked up for so many people now, because they can't fucking get into a healthy relationship. That's one fucking problem. Man and a woman together rent a place. The portion of rent for each of them is half of what somebody who doesn't have a fucking, relationship is. Their cost of living is about, cut in half, basically. To some extent, right? I don't know what the fuck to do. Things are so fucking overpriced. Cost of living is so goddamn high just to have basic. Like, the apartment I've lived in the last year, more than a year, is smaller than the bathroom in the house I grew up in. Our fucking bathroom was bigger than this fucking shit. Fucking rich people got walk-in closets bigger than this shit. Tool sheds bigger than this shit. You know? Nicer than this shit, you know? And I think the work, I really do. I feel like this work ethic, this idea that's promoted by the fucking boomers and by so many people, that so many people buy into, is completely screwed, and it's going to lead to our fucking absolute, total collapse of our society, basically. Especially because, in the modern day, the type of technology that's being developed and stuff is going to make human labor obsolete within a very short time, if it's not already. They don't fucking, these corporations, these companies and shit that own everything, they don't fucking need us anymore. No. They don't have to pay a fucking robot or an AI system to run shit. Right? People don't wake up to that shit, then, like, we're completely fucking doomed, man. Like, there's no way. We're headed in a direction as a country, as a society, all throughout the Western world, where, like, our parents, our grandparents, maybe the last generation to actually have homes. If people don't wake up, it's going to be hard for us to even be able to even be able to camp out and stay alive that way, because that'll be too goddamn expensive to even be able to get a night's sleep. It's more expensive to live in your fucking car nowadays than it used to be to buy a fucking 3-story house or something on a couple of acres. Or to rent a fucking, big fancy fucking, house. Like an upper middle class or, rich house or whatever. Costs more to fucking pay the rent on the cheapest, shittiest fucking apartment in the country than it used to cost to, you could have rented what you pay for rent in a month, you could have fucking bought a goddamn house 100 years ago. You could have fucking paid your entire year's rent with a couple weeks' pay, what you make now, It's ridiculous. That's how fucking bad it is. And people won't wake the fuck up to it. So it's just going to get worse and worse. Because nobody's talking about it. Nobody's wanting to do anything about it. Or few people, not enough people are talking about it. There's unrealistic expectations piled on the shoulders of the younger generations. And I mean, I'm 40 years old, but I'm basically... I got a late start, I got a late start. So I'm in the same boat as, like, millennial or Gen Z or whatever the fuck, Like, we're fucking doomed, man. Doomed. Without, some kind of miracle or something. If enough people, in the upper echelons of society would speak out or do something about this shit, then. But I mean, even the fucking I'm not even kidding, man. Even the people that are like upper middle class and like lower class wealthy and shit are gonna be fucking doomed. They're gonna be living, a decent situation right now. Accustomed to a higher standard of living or something now, but what's gonna happen, There's just all these poor people, all these homeless people that can't afford to live. And you're not fucking paying them a living wage. Why the fuck would they work for you? You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna wait your tables and fucking... Who's gonna manufacture the crap you want to buy? Who's gonna, fix your leaky sink? Who's gonna paint your house? Because the people that used to fucking do that shit now are fucking living in their goddamn car or living in a tent in the fucking bushes or something. Because they can't afford a fucking decent standard of living. You cool with that? Wealthy elites, you're just gonna fucking have like robots and shit. You watch the majority of the population just fucking freeze to death and starve to death on the fucking street. You cool with that? Does that make you happy? It make you happy to know that you're fucking, creating a world that, is in such dire straits that your fucking great grandchildren, if they even fucking manage to stay alive, would be struggling for table scraps living on the fucking street? Because you needed a bigger jet. Paid from a pool, whatever the fuck, right? A big part of the problem is that parents aren't even passing shit on to their fucking kids and their grandkids and stuff anymore. They're just racking up a ton of debt and dying off or whatever, or giving the money to charities or, whatever the hell, and the kids end up working at Burger King or something. That's part of it, man. I had freaking ancestors that lived in castles and shit. Many of us did, There are people freezing their ass off on the street right now whose, great 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 grandfather fucking or whatever was like wealthy, lived in a mansion or Somebody did a documentary. They interviewed this girl that was like a Rothschild or a Rockefeller or something that had been cut out of from her family or whatever for having differing beliefs or something. She's like flipping burgers at McDonald's or some shit, That's one of the fucking problems is just families not looking out for their fucking each other anymore. They're not helping the fucking younger generations to get ahead. So many, A lot of it is because people don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. Like the older generations has no fucking idea, no clue what the fuck they're talking about for the most part. Because for them, shit did just work out. For them, they just pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and end up buying a nice house and blah, 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 and everything just worked out for them. Because shit was cheaper for them. It was easier for them in so many fucking ways. They had this big, bolstered work ethic. Because you used to work hard and actually get ahead because of it. So it worked that way for them, so they assume it's going to work that way for you. Things are just magically going to work out. There's this fucking mentality that I feel like it's a cancer. It's a fucking cancer in our society. And it's the work ethic, the pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality, the, pretending like the way things are is the way they ought to be. This shit's fucking screwed up, man. How many more generations have to go off to war and get their fucking legs blown off in some foreign land because their parents told them it was a good thing, because their grandparents said, oh, go be a hero, Johnny. So proud of you. End up coming home in a fucking box being buried next to millions of others that died pointlessly because of their fucking stupid ideals that are foisted on them by the fucking older generations. I don't know, man. I feel like there was a time in society in the world where like parents wanted their kids to have it better than they did or whatever, so they worked hard for it. And then sometime, whether it be the boomer generation or whatever, it's like the fucking shit just flipped around. They want you to have it harder and worse, and they think that like there's this idea that struggle and hard times and stuff are good for you, and that it's better for you that way if your life is shit or whatever. Like, what do you think the fucking birth rate in Western countries is got down so low? I'll tell you why. Because people can't afford to fucking live and raise a goddamn family anymore. Because this shit situation that we're in has it's put us in a situation where people can't. They can't afford to live, can't afford to have a fucking family. And a strain on relationships of all this, financial stress imposed on people. Makes people irritable, hard to get along with. So they just had to suffer through a day, some job that they fucking hate. They get home and they just want to piss and moan and bitch and whine and fucking get mad, or somebody's like bullying them at work or whatever. They get home and they want to take it out on their significant other or whatever the fuck, because it's been bottling up so much stress. And I get it. We're being fucking exterminated through poverty, basically, is what's happening. Our civilization's being taken over by people that are just robbing us blind, all the way to the poorhouse, all the way to the grave, and beyond, basically. It's like a fucking worldwide Holodomor being carried out on the fucking West, basically, is going, kind of, yeah. I mean, things are really fucking bad, dude. I just feel like it's important for people to realize how bad things are, because it's never going to get any better until people realize how bad it is. Realize how much fucking trouble we're in, as a society, as a people. We're in very deep, deep trouble, man. And there's so many people that just turn a blind eye to it, act like nothing's wrong. And because of this, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. People keep buying the same lines of bullshit from the politicians and the media. Oh, we've never been doing better. We've got such a strong economy. Everything is wonderful. You know? Ooh. Tell somebody you've been looking for a job for 5, 10 fucking years or whatever and haven't got hired. They say, oh, you're just not trying hard enough. What's wrong? Oh, there's tons of jobs out there, It's just bullshit, dude. You're just lazy. You just don't want to work. You just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, boy. It's like, people want to bitch about bad habits, people on the street and stuff like that. No, I get it. Say, oh, these people are on drugs, or these people are just, they're just fucking, whatever. But see how you fucking feel have to sleep under a fucking tarp or wrap yourself up in a goddamn sleeping bag and sleep on the ground in the park somewhere when it's fucking 30 degrees out. And the only way you can stay warm during the wintertime is to spend all day walking around fucking Walmart or some shit just to keep from freezing to death until they close, and then you gotta fucking go out and try to survive through the night. Everybody fucking with you and pushing you around. Not wanting to let you get any sleep. Imagine how you'd feel if you couldn't get a single good night's sleep for a fucking week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. Every time you try to sleep, somebody knocks on your fucking window. You can't park here, you can't sleep here, whatever the fuck, right? See somebody's fucking headlights shining through your window, or, engine noises, all this shit. People shouting, people fucking with you, trying to break into your car, while whatever, right? Like, I think you might be tempted to get a little fucking high if your life was like that, Good shit situation, man. I mean, I mean, it's really fucking bad. And if we don't address the situation for what it and see it for what it is, then we're fucking doomed. People that are even like upper middle class and shit right now, man. Another 5, 10 years, they'd be fucked. You know? They'll be living on the goddamn street in their fucking car or something. I mean, people getting Social Security disability, they can't afford to live anywhere. It's too fucking expensive. I tell you how many homeless people, sleeping in the park I've talked to that fucking, they've got Social Security disability. Some veterans and stuff like that, on Social Security disability and veterans benefits, and they can't even afford to fucking rent an apartment anywhere. And it's fucked up too, in so many ways. There's like ghost towns all across the Western world. Abandoned houses, abandoned, everything. Shopping malls, motels, houses, airplanes, all this shit. All these places where people could be living, but so many are not because the wealthy won't let them. The people in charge won't let people fucking have a better standard of living. They say you're lazy. They say pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Whatever the fuck. There's just a general, lack of awareness, right? A lack of care and empathy and fucking huge portion of people, right? There's somebody that hasn't been able to get a full night's sleep in fucking weeks or months or something is expected, just pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Get a job, you lazy bum, And fucking walking fucking miles a day, wearing themselves out. And to try and fall asleep on the ground in a park somewhere on some bench if it doesn't have spikes on it or something. I see people curled up under fucking like in front of old shut down boarded up businesses and stuff. They have like a little overhang out front. There'll be some guy fucking laying there wrapped in a fucking blanket and a tarp, just trying to keep warm until they get chased away. It's fucking bad, dude. It's really, really fucking bad, and people just aren't seeing it. They don't, it's like they don't fucking care. And it's only gonna get fucking worse, dude. There's people taking video of this shit traveling all across the country, every state in the fucking country, in the United States, showing all these fucking tent cities and all these, homeless everywhere. People, huge areas where there's just campers and RVs and vans and stuff, people sleeping in them. They can't afford to live anywhere. And they're just getting harassed and chased off and drive down Main Street of almost any fucking city in America and you just see a bunch of boarded up windows, empty buildings where a business used to be. Homeless people wandering around. You see all these cars with stuff just piled up in them because that's all they have is their car. It's the only place they have to sleep, if they even have that. People are fucking losing everything. And then you got this mass portion of the society that just seems to not even care. Just come up with more and more ways and plot on more and more ways to be more cruel to the poor and impoverished. Sickening. sickening how fucking heartless so many are. The incentive just isn't there anymore in so many ways for people to want to work. You wonder why a lot of people don't want to work? Because you don't get anywhere. You can't get ahead by working some fucking job. You just bust your ass to make money. You can't even afford to live. You can't buy a home. Having a family is out of the question. You know? It's a fucking doomed existence, basically, you know? It's so fucking skewed. You've got some people. There seems to be so many people that just don't seem to struggle at all, and everything just works out great for them, you know? People that. And then there's so many others that just can't get ahead for the life of them, no matter what they fucking do, man. You're just doomed, basically. It's a fucking nightmare. People, you'll get a fucking job. Most jobs, man, you just gotta eat so much. You gotta put up with so much bullshit. You're just getting walked on, stepped on, used, and treated like shit. And nobody seems to care. I mean, it fucks over so many people. So many people are just getting screwed over on such a huge level, man. It's sad. It's fucking sickening that our society would be so cold, that so many people would be so cold and so uncaring. Criminalizing homelessness. Like, I mean, the sort of shit that goes on, it's absurd. It's obscene. It's disgusting. The level of fucking cold-blooded cruelty for our own fucking species, for God's sakes. Parents abandoning their children. Aunts, uncles, moms and dads just abandoning their kids to be eaten alive by the fucking fucked up world. A world where they were able to get ahead and they don't give a damn if their fucking younger generations can get ahead. They're not willing to look at the truth. Screwed up, man. It's really fucking bad, man. It really fucking is, man. You know, a man or a woman working, you know, one job and one day fucking had a nice house and a yard and a, you know, white picket fence and and be able to support a whole fucking large family or something on that. Nowadays, you know, somebody could be making, you know, twice what they were making back then, 3 times, 4 times what they were making back then, and not be able to even afford to rent a fucking apartment. It's ridiculous. The fucking way that people ignore it is ridiculous. The cruelty, the uncaring, you know, the lack of empathy, the lack of care on such a vast level is fucking appalling, disgusting. Victim blaming, you know? Society just pushes you and pushes you. Older generations push you and push you to the point where it's like to the point of breaking, man. Why do you think the fucking mental illness is through the roof and marriage is like out the window? You know, all so many ways that our society is fucked up, you know? Because people are fucking just having to live in shittier and shittier conditions, being treated like crap. We become like domesticated animals, like a plow horse or something, you know? And it's getting so bad now that it's like, you know, you know, like, or whatever. I don't remember the word. It's like some German word, glue factory, you know? It's like we're getting put out to pasture, basically. We're getting fucking in a situation where there's no fucking way we can get ahead. But not enough people are willing to realize that, like, that that's the way it is. So nothing's being said about it, nothing's being done about it for the most part, you know? The only so called solutions that are offered up basically tantamount to slavery or rounding people up and putting them in concentration camps or something. This is the level of cruelty off the charts, man. People need fucking help, man. Not the cold blooded, uncaring kind of help, but an actual fucking kind of help. People that actually fucking care. Everything's becoming too cold and clinical or something in this world, man. The whole world of fucking Nurse Ratchet type fucking behavior towards the fucking species, basically. I mean, what the hell? Oh, man. What the fuck are we gonna do? These last few years, since I lost my mom in my home, has been. I managed to finally get an apartment after a couple of years, after all my money was blown on fucking motel room. Barely scrape by. Make it by the skin of my teeth every month. I don't know, I had some months went better than others. Early on, I had more energy, you know. I put in more hours. But after a while, it just kind of wore me out. Emotionally, psychologically. Devastating, you know. I don't know, it gets fucking old, man. I don't know how people do it, man. So many people seem to be okay with this shit. Well, I guess I can kind of understand to some extent this ability to pretend like everything is okay when it's not. This ability to believe that everything is okay, you know, gives them more strength to be able to put up with a bunch of bullshit. Because they're able to genuinely believe that everything's alright. When it's fucking not, you know. God help us.